Hey everybody, and welcome back to a very exciting DBD video. Today we're going to be looking at Ardetha's latest YouTube video. If you don't know who they are, they're a fantastic content creator and they uncovered some really wild things about DBD, alright? So before we start, big shout out to them. Make sure you visit their channel, make sure you give them a like, make sure you follow them, they're great. And now let's jump into the video. Alright, let's get to it.
This isn't a video that I wanted to make. In fact, quite the opposite. This video has been in my idea bank for quite a while now, and I knew I'd make it at some point, but for the opposite reasons. I knew that DBD's Quality of Life Initiative, or Health Update, was something I'd cover, but I thought that when I did so, the video would be talking about all the amazing things it fixed.
Me too. Honestly, me too. When they announced the DBD Quality of Life Initiative, I was so excited and I was so hopeful. I remember going through it and being like, wow, if they actually kick back some stuff and take some time to fix the game, that's going to be so cool. Like I was really helped. Like I really hoped. Also, Newman, good to see you.
And how much better the game became afterwards. It's what I do in most of my videos. Talk about something awful that used to be in the game and then break down how behavior fixed it, making Dead by Daylight a better game today. But I can't do that this time. Because this time, behavior haven't fixed the game, despite direct promises to do so. I was actually halfway through making a completely different video when this situation reached its boiling point, and I had to switch over to this one because this is our one chance to get through to the devs. If you've seen anything related to DBD recently, you've no doubt seen the...
If you've seen anything related to DBD recently, you know it's been an absolute shitfest. The Walking Dead chapter has been an actually shitfest. And the 2v8 launch was bad. But, as you can see in the video I released today where I talk about the play while you wait, that is a feature they actually nailed. So that's been working pretty well. Now that I heard him probably used to work in Norway on the oil plant. He was in, and then 2 months. Yep. It'll be fine, none. It really will.
Huge backlash behavior has been getting for their failed Walking Dead livestream with Chandler Riggs.
Oh
and
my
while
god!
This video will cover that too.
Guys, did you guys? Did any of you actually tune in to the?
And I had to switch over to this being a complete because recently you've no doubt seen the huge backlash behavior has been getting for their failed Walking Dead.
Did any of you actually tune in to see this live stream? Did anybody actually watch this live stream? I don't know if any of you actually watched a live stream, but what happened, very short and very like explained. Behavior invited the odd stream drama. Man, I'm invested in that. Yeah, I've seen it on YouTube after the live stream was over. I didn't tune in the live stream myself, I gotta be honest with you. But I saw so many videos and it was really bad. I don't know. I honestly don't know how they messed it up that bad. For those of you who are unaware of what happened, they had Chandler Riggs, which is which was the kid in The Walking Dead. I don't remember what was his name. Can anybody remind me his name? Anyway, he was Carl. There we go. Thank you. So he was an actor playing Carl at the time, a kid, and they invited him to the Behavior Studios for him to sit down with Otstarva, Mish, G-Burb, and Ghost Arcade, 4 of their top content creators, Otstarva being the biggest DBD content creator. And the whole idea was that they would play some custom games together. And it worked well because Chandler Riggs in the past had, said that he played Dead by Daylight, so it's not like he didn't know the game and anything. In fact, he was actually trying to get himself added to the game as Carl, so his alter ego that he portrayed in The Walking Dead, but they actually went with Michonne and Rick. And then Daryl as a skin and so on. And the situation is that they got on the stream, they started the customs, but because the spectator slots of the custom games were not being filled, which, as you know, you guys know that we've done some customs, and there were a couple of people that were like, hey, can I spectate and so on. So those spectator slots were free. That allowed cheaters to actually go into those spectator slots, and from there they crashed the actual servers and the custom game. So Starver came up with a quick solution and said, hey, let me invite some of my mods to actually fill those slots so the cheaters can't get in. And he did so. Behavior kicked them, maybe thinking they were the actual cheaters or people that shouldn't be in the lobby. And basically their 1 hour stream was just them trying to fix the issue, and then eventually the stream cut off, and the lots and missions so on just went on and continued their own stream. Except this whole thing could have been prevented. This whole thing could have been prevented by just recording this offline. There was no reason, by the way, why any of this had to be online. Like, no reason at all. They could have legitimately simply recorded it offline with no chance of cheaters, and then published it as a nice DVD YouTube video where everybody would be laughing and having a grand old jolly time. They didn't. Behavior doesn't deserve odds? Yeah. What pissed me off the most? I mean, saying behavior doesn't deserve odds is kind of counterintuitive in the sense that they kind of help each other. Odds reach notoriety, first with Dark Souls and then with DBD. So Odds owes a lot to DBD, and DBD owes a lot to Odds. It's a two-way street. What pissed me off the most is how they handled Chandler's and Odds' actual advices. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the right people were on hold from behavior that day. I gotta be honest with you. Those were probably not the right people that should have been waiting. Like,
live stream with Chandler Riggs, and while this video will cover that too, there's a bigger overarching story that led us to where we're at now, the boiling point. Things need to change. The story officially starts on the 2nd of December 2024 when the Dead by Daylight developers tweeted this: 8 years around the campfire and we wouldn't be here without you.
Oh my god, the labor of love. Oh my god, he actually talks about the labor of love. This is so cool. This is so cool to talk about as a topic. It is not a good look for Dead by Daylight. Let's look at the tweet. 8 years around a campfire and we wouldn't be here without you. Your feedback allowed us to bring new features to life in 2024, and we can't wait to keep building this world with you for the years to come. Nominate Dead by Daylight in the Labor of Love category for the Steam Awards. Oh my god, the amount of backlash they got from this was unreal, by the way. Unreal.
Your feedback allowed us to bring new features to life in 2024, and we can't wait to keep building this world of you for the years to come. Nominate Dead by Daylight in the Labor of Love category for the Steam Awards. Which, in a vacuum, is nothing out of the ordinary. Loads of games try going for this award, but the title, Labor of Love, implies that the developers have been pouring their heart and soul into the game and treating it with love, which is something that couldn't be said about Dead by Daylight while...
I was gonna say, do you guys feel like you're being like Dead by Daylight as a game is being bombed with love? Does anybody in here feel like Dead by Daylight as a game is being love bombed? And like they're paying attention and pouring their soul and their hard work into the game? Do you guys feel like that's the case? I don't think so.
Holding a straight face, so the sheer audacity of such a request sparked immediate backlash from the community. In case you're unfamiliar with Dead by Daylight or are still somewhat new to it, shortly after its release in 2016, this game quickly earned a strong reputation for being terribly balanced, riddled with bugs that would often take multiple years to fix, pumping out licensed...
No. Let that sit in, by the way. There were, and it's true, there are still in the game as of today some bugs that have been around since the game's origin. There are bugs who are now referred to as features. The old Blight Hug Tech was labeled as a bug after it being called a tech, and people learned how to do it to be better with the killer, and it was in the game for years until they actually removed it. which is insane. How do you justify that?
DLC one after the other while treating said licenses like trash and leaving their respective killers in awful states for literal years, like the pig, who the developers straight up bullied for multiple years, only finally attempting to give her a real buff more than half a decade later in 2025, as well as having a huge hacker issue partially caused by the developers themselves.
The easy anti-cheat system is bad, by the way. It is legitimately just bad. There is no other way of talking about easy anti-cheat the way, like, it doesn't do enough.
And treating their player base pretty poorly.
Playing killers was fun a long time ago, but now it's only stressful. But that's an opinion, a valid opinion.
It's an opinion that, like, so many killers agree with, though. That is crazy, by the way. That is crazy. Imagine being the game director and you're reading like a message from somebody who sent out something for you to read and respond on stream. And this person was probably writing like, yeah, you know, it's hard to and I'm trying to get into the mindset of somebody writing something like that. This guy just going, yeah, by the way, that's just an opinion. That's your opinion. True, technically it is his opinion, but it is overwhelmingly shared by a vast majority of the community, of the killer community. And yes, the only thing they do miss is loot boxes, which, I mean, yeah.
Opinion, but that's an opinion. I used to love playing as a killer.
Hold on. Did you see her face?
That's an opinion, a valid opinion, but that's an opinion.
Nah, the way he's talking, she's like, I mean.
I used to love playing as a killer. Win or lose, it was fun, but currently, no matter what, it's just filled with stress and anger. Killers aren't feared anymore. Do you have any plans or ideas how you would like to improve the killer experience? Well, I would say maybe try Survivor for a bit.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't, dude. Maybe try Survivor. This is the same energy as people telling you that you need to get out and touch grass, by the way. Like, bro, get good. It's a skill issue. Get good.
No, but it's true. I mean, change it up. Maybe you're just tired, you know, or play something else for a week. Try Civilization or something.
There you have it. Try Civilization. Go touch grass. No, dude, touch grass. That's awesome. You're sad? Yeah, just be happy. If you're sad, just be happy. You're depressed, just don't be depressed.
Behavior and DBD are much better now than their old versions that earned these reputations. The devs and game only really started getting better around 2022, I'd say. So it's going to take a lot of work to undo the 6-year long run of damage that was dealt before 2022. Despite this long-running bad reputation, the devs actually asked for the Labour of Love award back in 2023 as well, and that one went over much better. Of course, they didn't win the award, but they
No, I kind of want to watch the tweet real quick.
2023 as well, and that one.
We're 7 years in, and we couldn't have made it this far into the fog without our community that you purposely ignore so many times. We look forward to exploring more of the entities realm with all of you. Nominate Dead by Daylight in the Labor of Love category for the Steam Awards. Okay.
Went over much better. Of course, they didn't win the award, but they weren't torn to shreds for asking for it. So, what's the difference? The difference was, this most recent request came right after the release of the Houndmaster, one of the buggiest DLC releases that
I have to stop for a second. One of the DLCs that is the buggiest to this day, by the way. To this day, the Houndmaster and the dog get stuck on absolutely fucking everything
the DBD has ever seen, so the community was already rallied together and united in their disappointment with the state of the game. And if there's one thing that can put some pressure on behavior, it's when the community rallies together. And the community did not hold back, which you can see in the replies. I love this game, but you just released a killer that barely functions. Buddy, I'm on your side, but the Houndmaster is in a rough spot right now, to say the least. If you tried loving your game, I don't know.
This is wild. Carol, have you tried loving your game? Nah. Carol,
This
that's
ain't
awesome.
love, this is abuse. Unfortunately, I have never felt less heard by a gaming company in all my years of gaming, so I cannot in good conscience vote for you. I would take this opportunity to listen to your players in the comments. And these are just a few of over 500 replies. So as you can see, the community was not happy at the sheer audacity of behaviour to ask for the Labour of Love award when they really weren't treating DBD with love. This got so big that 11 days later, even Ardetha ended up making a video talking about it, titled, "Does DBD deserve the Labour of Love?"
Oh, I remember watching this video. And I was like, there's no way Alts is making a video saying that they don't. Given again that, you know, they have a relationship, they're Alts is often associated with DBD, and you can't be in DBD without knowing Ardetha. He's again the biggest content creator of the game. There's just no shot.
Award, with the thumbnail simply saying, "Nope." If you're someone who isn't too familiar with this game and its community, you might think, what's the big deal? A DBD YouTuber talking about DBD drama. That's hardly anything groundbreaking. But it's not as simple as that. Ots is one of, if not the biggest DBD YouTuber and streamer, and he generally likes to keep things positive, both for his community and for the devs. Don't get me wrong, he's not a shill or a yes man, but negativity isn't really his forte. But even he had to address this, and your biggest creator bringing more attention to the situation is already scary enough for the devs. But while he did have some good things to say about the game, even he agreed that ultimately, the game was not in a good enough state to win this award. So,
do you guys remember? Did any of you ever watch the video from Ots where he said that he was gonna stop focusing so much on individual killers and making guides and content and all of that because he was and reporting bugs and the whole thing because he was kind of underwhelmed about how behavior were acting on it? It was like at least a year and something ago, but I remember watching a video like that. That was an interesting video as well. You could tell that buddy, like, bro was just exhausted with the whole thing. Hey, Snow.
6 days after that, Behavior made this tweet. The Dead by Daylight team would like your feedback in a player satisfaction survey. We encourage you to be as honest as possible in letting us know how you feel about the game. The information and answers provided are anonymous. Access the survey with a link to the survey. Of course, people were still voicing their frustrations with the game in
I actually did do as many servers whenever they were available, and ever like that. I was always 100% honest, and I remember even sharing this on the Discord and asking you guys like and telling you guys like, hey, this is an opportunity for us to kind of give actual feedback that gets recorded and tracked by behavior.
the replies, but as much as people didn't want to admit it, this was the perfect time and situation to gather feedback since all of the game's issues were on the forefront of players' minds. Then, 2 months later, an absolute bombshell dropped. A video on the official Dead by Daylight YouTube channel titled Dead by Daylight, Quality of Life in the...
Oh, I was so hopeful about this. I had so many hopes for this, dude. I really did. Hi, Rev.
Initiative, February 2025.
The reality is, when it comes to the quality of the experience of our players, we understand that we are simply not where we want to be.
Yeah, we've been closely tracking all the discussions about this recently in the current state of the game, and we believe and we agree that now is the time to tackle these issues head on.
So first, we will be delaying our upcoming release by 3 weeks, and that begins with tomorrow's PTP. Beyond that, multiple other releases and events in the 2025 calendar will also be impacted in order to give us the opportunity to truly make this quality of life push a priority.
The video was also accompanied with a matching dev blog and forum post going into much greater detail about what their plans were. And what were those promises exactly? Surrendering, a gamma slider, go next prevention, hostage holding prevention, map offering nerfs, survivor spawn changes, improved AFK detection, bulk blood point spending, a new quest system, more perk preset slots, and seeing your own perks in the lobby. And as you can see, the community was absolutely ecstatic about this.
We were all excited about this. By the way, side note, nowhere did they mention that they were going to change the label of the skins to increase the price of some skins. That was a nice marketing move. That was a nice little marketing move. I knew it was fucked whenever Left One, forgot his name, is in a video. Yeah, he's kind of but you kind of associate him with the game a lot. Yeah, Rev.
Health update was exactly what we needed. Slugging has been frustrating people for a long time. Surrendering would be...
I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop and talk about the slugging for a second. I know that a lot of people have a problem with slugging, and I know that it's not fun, but realistically, slugging is a type of gameplay, and some people genuinely enjoy it. And yeah, like, it sucked from a survivor point of view, but some people liked it, and some perks were designed to counter it. And like right now, Conviction from Michonne does such an amazing job at preventing slugging. I know that a lot of survivors were out there calling like, yeah, you should make like Unbreakable base kit. That would be such a bad mistake. You can already see how Conviction right now, if abused correctly, not used, but abused correctly, allows a survivor to get up in 4 seconds. I think Odds made a video about it, and he showcased that if you got hit while vaulting, by the time Killer vaulted behind you to grab you, you'd already be up if you were in boon range and just with Unbreakable speed and Conviction. I don't mind slugging if used wisely, not at 5 gens, and I say it as a survivor main. It's situational. Next update, we're removing killing in DVD. Yeah.
An absolute game changer and would remove the need for people to go next entirely, tying in perfectly with the go next prevention. Delaying content releases was also very admirable and really made the community believe that this was it. After all of this, the game would be so much better to play with many frustrations removed. This announcement completely flipped the court of public opinion from having an overwhelmingly negative view of the state.
By the way, please remember this moment for later, okay? Remember this moment, and the way he's portraying the narrative, it flipped the opinion and gave people hope again, right? This is the first big time that that's happened, but it's not the only time. We're going to talk about it more later.
The Survivor Spawn logic update has helped make early games a bit...
The Survivor Spawn logic is non-logical. By the way, do any of you feel like the FNAF release just came, happened, and passed, and it wasn't that big of a deal? Like the leading up, everybody was so excited and everything, and then it came, and it was like a whole nothing burger. Am I the only one who feels that way? It wasn't this like big. I don't know, the map. The Freddy Pizzeria is basically Green Square, Greenville, whatever you call that map again, rebranded with a pizza shop in the middle and some horrendous tiles to navigate and some balloons that have a hitbox while they should not have a hitbox. And I don't fucking know why those balloons have a hitbox, because as a huntress, it pisses me off. And that's personal, but why the fuck do those balloons? Okay, anyway, it wasn't a great map. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't, and I say this as not Bianca. I'm not a FNAF fan, so maybe someone in chat, which is like a Five Nights at Freddy big enjoyer, can tell us more about it. But I don't know. It never excited me.
Content for the sake of health. How come we were at the end of the first phase and the game still felt practically the same as when we started? Well, let's break down what actually happened with phase 1. Anti-slugging and a surrender option. Well, that just didn't happen. The only change we got to slugging was a rework to a single perk, being knockout. The act of slugging itself and the effects it had on the game simply haven't changed whatsoever. And surrendering still isn't a thing at all. Don't get me wrong, you do have the option of quitting without a penalty when the killer has left all 4 survivors on the floor, or if the survivors haven't done a single gen in 5 minutes, but that's purely to prevent hostage taking. That's not surrendering. Surrendering would be if the team had the option of collectively voting whether to drop out together if 3 or 4 of the team agrees to it after a certain criteria has been met.
And every game has that. every game that is multiplayer in a competitive environment gives the team the option to tap the hell out if there's no win condition. You have it in League, you have it in Valorant, you have it in Marvels, you have it everywhere. Everywhere there is an option as a player to say, no, we're not going to win this game. I'm done. Just get me into the next one. But DVD doesn't. However, DVD doesn't really penalize you for just leaving, so you can just do that, or you can just chase the killer and get killed and nothing happens to you. In fact, no, something does happen to you. You now lose a tier. And except that it is so badly taught off that if you get tunneled hard by a killer, or if a cheater, like it happened to me, I made a TikTok about it, if a cheater actually kills you in like 30 seconds or less and kills the entire team and then hooks everybody, you are going to get a warning. And people in the comments on TikTok were telling me that they've lost tiers because they met 2 cheaters in a row. That's not a well-taught system. I'm sorry, it's not.
Like survivors surrendering if the killer has 8 hooks with 5 gens still remaining, or the killer being able to surrender with 4 gens done and 0 hooks. Everything in this bottom section doesn't even have any effects during matches. How many times have you closed the game in anger, saying to yourself, I'm sick of this game and its BS. I swear, if the devs don't add a tiny square in the pre-game lobby showing me my own perks that I selected myself, I'm gonna uninstall. Come on now. Don't get me wrong, they're definitely nice quality of life changes.
Who gives a shit about watching your own perks? You literally selected, you know what you're playing. You want to see your other teammates' perks, but again, that could potentially be very unhealthy. Because if you can see other people's perks, you might see, hey, this guy's not playing meta. I'm just going to dodge this match because I don't want to play with a guy playing no miter for fun. I don't want to play with a guy who's not going for Sabo. Sabo is the meta, or Sprint Burst, or I don't want to play with a guy who's playing Red Herring, or I don't want to play with a guy playing Blast Mine because I don't like Blast Mine, or I don't want to play against, it gets out of control. So there is also that to consider. The fact that some survivors would dodge you because you're playing weird perks, trying to have fun. Because fuck having fun in DBD, apparently.
They did exactly what they said they'd do. Look.
We will be delaying our upcoming release by 3 weeks.
They shifted all releases backwards by 3 weeks, which, realistically, bought them 3 weeks of time to focus on this entire initiative before heading back to the usual DLC schedule. Because it wasn't 3 weeks per DLC, but just 3 weeks for the entire initiative.
3 weeks for the entire initiative doesn't even allow a proper project management of analyzing what has to be done and building a back timing log of what needs to be done by when. 3 weeks for the amount of work that needs to be done in DVD is like it's.
This means that they either mashed everything out in that initial first 3 weeks when they first announced it, or potentially even worse, and most likely the real case, they've had to continue working on the rest of the health update while also working on all of these DLCs at the same time. I say this is the even worse possibility because we got into this mess from behavior forcing updates out the door without enough time in the oven, without enough time to fix the issues before release, and barely having enough time to squeeze out fixes for some, but not all of the issues before moving on to the next one. So you take the issue of them not having enough time to iron things out, then stretch their development resources even further with all of these health updates, and you can see how things would likely get worse. They'll have less time to work on the future DLC, which means it will come with even more bugs than previous ones, and will be stuck in this infinite loop forever. And of course, only 1 month later, on the 29th of July 2025, we got yet another DLC release as we entered the first month of Phase 2 of the health update, bringing us The Walking Dead.
Jesus, this is where shit goes down. By the way, Behavior got for DBD the free easy anti-cheat, not even the bite version. I heard about that. I want to talk about that later. Because that is, that makes you look like, I can't even explain how much that pisses me off, dude.
This was something that the community was very excited for. Unfortunately, we got no killer, which might be one of the biggest missed opportunities in DBD history, and no full new map either. Instead, we'd get one new jungle gym in the corner of one map, and 2 survivors, being Rick and Michonne, with a Daryl skin for Rick. Again, a huge
Rick and Michonne, by the way, you couldn't play Michonne on the PTB. So out of 2 survivors, you couldn't play one of them. Whole PTB was 2 weeks released, now it's 3 weeks and still not fixed. Yeah. I'm loving this video, by the way. Make sure I'll link at the end. I'll link both their Twitch and their YouTube. But Ardetha is this person makes incredible videos.
Huge missed opportunity, but at least since it's just 2 survivors, it's a hard update to mess up, right? Well, this was somehow one of the buggiest updates we've ever had in Dead by Daylight, even more so than the Houndmasters chapter. This isn't just nitpicking or obscure things that are hard to replicate, these things were glaringly obvious. Seriously, even just loading into any match as either a survivor or a killer, you'd be greeted with a
I don't even want to talk about Jim. I don't want to talk about Jim. I hated Jim when he was there. I know some of you are obsessed with Jim. Fuck Jim. Fuck that ladder.
massive metal support beam on the offering screen, and this happened every single match without fail. People immediately jumped to the conclusion that Behavior hadn't even done one single match of playtesting for this update, as this beam isn't exactly hard to spot. The bugs are so bad and so abundant that the community has started compiling extensive lists of everything going on. Alranican has compiled an entire list of gameplay bugs, containing—
Hold on. The game will seem to be continually normal, but the survivor's true location is inside the locker. If the killer opened a locker, they will be teleported to it and can be hooked twice at the same time. This bug is a death sentence given a random— oh my god. When teleporting to survivors, Freddy and Singularity sentence ended further than intended. Yeah, this happens with the nurse too, by the way. But holy shit, props to this guy. Imagine, by the way, having a community and a member that is so dedicated that he's going to compile all the fuck— oh my god, it's 130 different bugs. It says here it's 130 different bugs that he found and collected for you to just take and give you to your dev team. Oh my god, he basically did half the work for you.
more than an almighty 130 different bugs. And Stay Bubble 12 has compiled an entirely separate list focusing on skins that are bugs too. The craziest thing about all this is that this isn't even everything. Just to add a few of my own to the list, Sadako's once infamous jump scare is now—
what the fuck is that? No, there is no way. What the fuck is this? Hold on. I want to go back.
Sadako's once infamous jump scare is now a surprise snog. Save the best—
what the fuck? What?
Scare is now
Nah, dude. Nah, this is— oh my god, what the fuck?
People eventually figured out that this hack could be completely stopped if the match had every spectator slot filled up, since this would disable the ability to send the join request. People were really frustrated about these problems. It's quite common for us to get angry about these sorts of things since they happen so often, but generally it doesn't amount to much, as other people who don't play as much might say things such as, "Oh, the cheating problem's nowhere near as bad as you're making it out to be, stop exaggerating, etc, etc. Because of course, cheaters aren't in literally every single match at the same time, so we don't all get angry about cheaters at the exact same time, so we don't end up uniting.
This is a little bit like saying just get good. You know, just because you played against, I don't know, let's say shitty nurses, and then somebody comes up to you and says, "Oh my god, dude, nurse is broken," and you've been juking nurses all night, your answer is not going to be, "Oh man, maybe the nurse you got was more experienced than mine." You're going to tell them, "Dude, I've been dodging nurses for the past 4 hours. Just get good." And I just GG easy. Just do better. I saw ping 10,000 to an Amazon lobby one time. Yeah.
But despite all these problems, Behavior still insisted on hosting a grand Walking Dead livestream to celebrate the launch of this DLC with none other than Chandler
Carl
Riggs as the main guest. It was this stream where Dead by Daylight reached an all-new low, taking the worst hit to their reputation that we've ever seen. This was worse than the Korean flashlight incident and worse than the failed esports entrance with Space Esports, both of which I've made videos on before. This was when cheaters targeted the game developers themselves and won.
Imagine being a cheater, by the way, and watching this and seeing cheaters win. It's only going to make them want to cheat more. It's only going to make them want to cheat more. Also, he mentioned 2 other videos. They're on his channel. They're 100% worth watching. I watched both of them. Fantastic videos. Especially the one about DVD trying to get into the esports scene. It is a mountain of fuck-ups. That's the only way to describe it.
You gathered 4 hugely popular DBD streamers, Ardetha, Ghost Arcade, Mish, and G-Burb, to play some private matches with Chandler while they spoke about all things DBD and Walking Dead. The stream started off innocent enough, introducing Chandler and having a quick chat about his experience playing DBD in the past, before jumping straight into a call with the streamers, ready to have some fun. Unfortunately, Behavior decided to give Chandler a headset with a pretty awful microphone. Which isn't great.
Oh my god. Oh, that's horrible. Guys, who remember when you get hooked and it's your second stage, you need to fuck up your spacebar just not to die? I don't remember that one. I remember the wiggle one.
For the main star of the show to have. That being said, Chandler and all 4 of the streamers had amazing chemistry and had some great chats. A really professional job from everyone so far. But unfortunately, the entire thing continued to be plagued with a variety of audio issues, ranging from Chandler Riggs being given Zimbabwe Bubba's microphone, poor volume balance on Behavior's end where each person was a different volume, and, what bothered chat the most, an echo. But they didn't hang about for too long, quickly heading into an actual match only a few minutes later. They give Chandler a very quick breakdown of what to do against the artist, which is the killer they're playing against, before the chase starts. Unfortunately, we don't get to see that first chase, as the spectator doesn't put the brand new, upgraded spectator system to use until right as the first survivor went down. I'm starting to get Space Esports flashbacks here. The match would last no longer than 27 seconds before the...
Yo, 27 seconds. That's brilliant. Brilliant. Small indie company.
DDoS and commenced, completely lagging out the server and making the game outright unplayable for our hosts.
Alright, friends, I think we might need to have restart and we might need to get a full staff list to join this lobby.
The match would last another 1 minute before they quit, giving us a grand total of 1 minute 27 seconds. Now, the keen-eared among you may have heard Ardetha say this.
And we might need to get a full staff list to join this lobby.
Because if you remember, the community had already been dealing with this for some time now and figured out how to prevent the invite spam DDoS attack. So Ardetha quickly told Behavior how to fix the issue. So quickly in fact that he actually finishes explaining the solution exactly 15 seconds after the lag began. 15 seconds, wow, that's a huge boon for Behavior, who were likely panicking in the background now. The scene changes back to facecam only while Behavior figure out what's going on, and again, everyone does a great job of keeping the conversation flowing, keeping things positive, and overall, doing a great professional job. They spend a little over 5 minutes chatting before Otz reminds them that they need more spectators and that he's happy to invite his friends to fill the slots.
Do we need more odds? Or?
We need more. We need more.
Okay.
Worst case scenario, I can get all my friends to join. I think Behavior folks are like booting up their game and installing the updates or something. But we're gonna...
My god, the echo was terrible, by the way. Actually terrible. Poor Chandler. Poor all of them. Can you imagine being with hundreds of thousands of people watching you? And, you know, you might say, okay, most of these content creators are used to it. Chandler Riggs is a massive actor, whatever. But still, it's not easy in these conditions to try to make it look like everything is, you know, going great and as intended. It takes a lot of, like, mental to just stay focused and have a laugh about it and try to look at the bright side kind of thing. Like, props to them, honestly. Also, hi, Gaga.
We're gonna politely tell them on Discord to hurry up.
Ghost Arcade starts a conversation with Chandler, but unfortunately, Chandler's mic has been muted by the stream host, so the 4 streamers can hear him and are talking to him just fine, but us viewers have no idea what they're talking about.
Where was your favorite kind of like period or like throughout the whole filming experience for like sets and stuff like that?
Eventually, they start readying up and load into their second attempt, Metal Beam in full view. Unfortunately, more audio issues as Chandler's mic is still muted and the game audio isn't being captured directly, instead coming through somebody's mic. Then, a mere 35 seconds after the second match started, the DDoSing begins once again.
Oh, I think it's happening again.
Yeah, we might. All right, guys. I didn't want.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I kind of wish I could go back in time to watch this stream. I kind of really am sad that I missed this stream.
I didn't want to be that guy, but
It's happening again. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We're gonna have to quit again. Behavior, you guys are gonna have to.
They back out of the match again, with their second attempt lasting a total of 46 seconds. At this point, Ardetha just invites people himself.
Can we?
You can watch. No, actually, Behavior removed the VOD to this stream. They actually removed the VOD to this stream. You can only see it from one of these channels. I think Oz is the one that's been shown the most. But Behavior himself, they hit the VOD. They were like, we're hiding the body. Ain't none of you guys watching our POV on this.
Just bring spectators in, or?
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell my mods. Hopefully they don't have a problem, Johnny.
After Otz's mods fill all the remaining spectator slots, they think they're ready before Behavior kicks them all, putting them back to square one.
I think that if we're ready up now,
Yeah.
we should be all right, and this should not happen
The echo is still unbearable, by the way. I can't.
anymore. So thank you everybody that made that possible. And sorry that you had to sit through this. Oh, never mind. Don't ready up for the long God.
Chandler continues the conversation, but once again, Behavior still haven't fixed his mic. Eventually, they take Chandler away and have a 10-minute break. Upon his return, Behavior still have Chandler muted. This is absolutely...
How did nobody notice? Chat must have been spamming it. There's nobody from Behavior watching chat. Like, chat must have been spamming muted or mic or we can't hear Chandler. Come on.
Absolutely unbelievable. This really is a repeat of Space Esports. Half an hour into the stream, they begin their third attempt at playing a match. Of course, with Chandler still muted.
Oh,
Really?
We will never know what he said.
Once again, we can see Behavior completely ignored Ardetha's instructions on how to resolve the issue as the DDoSing continues 27 seconds into the match again. At this point, Otz is understandably frustrated with Behavior's unbelievable incompetence.
yeah, guys, I'm so sorry, but I'm just gonna be a bit blunt with Behavior.
Before they quit out of the match again. This third attempt lasted a grand total of 59 seconds. Back to Chandler and co having...
When was the stream? This was like 2 weeks ago. It was like 2-3 weeks ago tops. It was not a long time ago.
various conversations, remaining professional and trying to keep the ball rolling. Chandler, still muted, starts a conversation about a movie.
Oh my god, yes!
They proceed to have a lengthy conversation.
I can't! Bro, it's still muted! Oh, Jesus. Nah.
About it, while the viewers have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. 45 minutes into the stream now, and they are still yet to play a single match. A few minutes later, Behavior changed the schedule and switched to a video of Chandler playing a different Behavior game due to release soon to
Oh my god, not this game. I saw this one when they announced it and the stuff like that, and I was like, ain't no way anybody's ever playing this.
advertise it ahead of release. I feel so bad for these two devs as they're clearly excited to show off their project, but this entire situation is doing no favours for their game. It's like Behavior saying, hey, we know we can't show you gameplay of our main game, Dead by Daylight, since it literally doesn't fucking work, but please come buy our other game. Of course, this game is made by a completely different team, but many people just won't care. After 10 minutes or so of that, the scene switches back to the studio where they ask Chandler more questions for a few minutes before cancelling the stream altogether. The stream lasted 1 hour, 9 minutes and 59 seconds with a grand total of 0 matches played. This
has to be the biggest L a game developer has ever taken on their own stream. This has to be the most humiliated a game has ever been by its own developer on a public stream where they had control over the entire process. There is no way something worse than this has ever been shown. There's just no way. And again, there was no reason for them to do this thing live. If you know you have a cheating problem, just pre-record the content. Just publish it as a YouTube video. Publish it as a Twitch recorded one. You're gonna get no interaction with chat, fair enough, but at least it would have been watchable.
was an absolute dumpster fire. They did so much hype building for this stream, got some of DBD's most popular streamers and a huge name being Chandler Riggs on board, so there were a lot of eyes on this, and behaviour made a fool of themselves. The worst part of all? This 70-minute dumpster fire could have been so easily avoided, either by listening to the community's outrage about the hackers ahead of time, or by listening to the advice Ardetha gave them 15 seconds after the DDoSing started. Yes, remember, Ots told them exactly how to fix it just 15 seconds into the DDoS, and they ignored him entirely. This stream hadn't even finished before I started downloading the VOD, because I knew there was no way in hell that this was staying public.
Okay, so that's how he kept the VOD. He did. The next day they deleted the VOD.
And as predicted, the next day, it was gone. Then, a clip started circulating from the POV of one of the streamers. It's from a part of the stream where the devs were on a BRB screen, but the streamers still kept everything visible, and this conversation was caught happening behind the scenes.
Ots was saying that, like, if we fill up the lobby completely with spectators, but is that not going to work? No, not for what this is. Okay.
Where Chandler tells behaviour employees directly, face to face, the solution that Ardetha gave them, and they were having none of it. Many people felt that the way they spoke to him was rude, especially the way they interrupted him. That same day, Behaviour released this apology tweet. Yesterday's livestream with Chandler Riggs.
Oh, I read this one. This one is okay. Let's go through it.
And our creators didn't go as planned, and we want to sincerely apologise for how things unfolded. As most of you are now aware, we couldn't complete a match because the dedicated server players were on was the target of an attack. This put our content creators in an incredibly difficult position trying to troubleshoot and adapt in real time while live. We know our creators have experienced similar issues, and they showed remarkable patience and resourcefulness, offering suggestions to help get things back on track.
And we completely ignore it because we know better.
While our security team was on hand during the incident, we didn't properly assess the situation and didn't act on potential mitigation plans. And this is a failure on our part. We want to...
This is some of the best corporate speech I've seen to try to justify, and they do say failure on our part, fair enough, but it just seems like you're trying to shield yourself and be like, yeah, we had the best people on hand, like our security team was ready and everything was about... Unfortunately, you know, things didn't evolve as we wanted. Just say we fucked up.
Be clear, our creators and our community are at the core of what we do.
Absolute bullshit. I'm sorry. As a content creator, as a community of DVD member, as my own community, the people I interact with, the other small channels that I have conversation with, the other content creators, everybody I have a conversation with, nobody feels like they are at the core of what behavior does. I'm sorry, that's just the way I'm saying it.
The last thing we ever want is for them to feel ignored or left out of the loop. We didn't communicate well enough yesterday, and we're taking a hard look at how we can do better moving forward. We also want to take the time to apologise to all of you, our DBD players. What was meant to be a fun moment bringing our community together turned out to be the opposite. After talking to creators, we are taking their feedback to improve how we run these streams in the future. Lastly, we want to extend a heartfelt thank you to Chandler Riggs, G-Burb, Ghost Arcade, Mish, and Obstava for their time and support yesterday. Having Chandler and Rick Grimes for DBD at our office was still an amazing moment that we're really proud to have seen happen, and the continuous passion shown by our content creators and community is not something we take for granted. But sadly, the
Bullshit. I'm sorry. Bullshit. Bullshit. The ukulele apology video is better.
community was having absolutely none of it, because there's genuinely nothing that they can say to explain how they messed it up so badly. That stream was over an hour of misery. 2 days after their apology tweet, Behavior released this video.
Oh, before we get to the video, by the way, do you guys remember earlier when I told you that they made a video and it appeased the community? And that was the first time, and it was, hey, sorry, we're gonna do better. Here's a quality of life, and everybody was like hopeful and shit. They didn't just do it once, by the way. They did it twice.
Thought that would be better to see us face to face, and instead of spend our time apologizing, actually spend our time talking about some actions we're going to take to make things better in the world of DBD.
That's right. They announced a health update for their health update. The initial health
Isn't it awesome how, like, they were like, the first time we messed up, we did a video about the quality of life. Fucking up again. What if we did a quality of life update on the quality of life update? Yeah, everybody is on board. All right, let's do it.
health update proved to be such a failure that it needs its own health update to undo the damage it caused. It makes perfect sense, right? Announcing the first health update instantly got all the heat off of them. So let's just announce a second one to get everyone off our cases.
That is exactly what I was saying. It worked the first time, and they thought they could pull it off the second time. They thought it was gonna work again.
This one didn't go as well as they hoped. Most of the community didn't really care about the contents of the video or the promises they were making, as Behavior have already broken the community's trust, so it's hard to get excited for what's to come when history has shown that all of these lovely things were being promised likely won't happen at all. Or will happen, but will bring a plethora of new problems with them, bringing us back to square one again. Unfortunately, this one also does seem like it was put together in a hurry for the sake of public relations, which is a shame because the first one at least looked authentic. The plans are overall very generic. Add a third bug fix patch, fix high priority killer issues, slugging, tunneling and camping update, quality of life focused release. It seems more like buzzwords than actual plans, and the rushed response is even visible in the graphic itself. This is the one time you need to really prove to the community that you can do things right, that you'll stop messing things up, and that you'll...
I think that people would have respected more than just saying, you know what, we fucked up. We fucked up. We haven't been paying attention. We thought we knew better. We got humbled. We're gonna listen more. I think that if they had said something like that, it would have actually had more effect. There is at some point, there is a degree of where taking accountability is the only way forward. Trying to deflect with the second video and making a second live quality update, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't. And it didn't cut it. It didn't. They thought they were going to get off the hook. They didn't.
Put quality at the forefront of what you will do, and you can't even align the text in your apology infographic. I know it's nitpicky in a vacuum, but how are we supposed to believe you'll treat the game with care when you can't even treat your announcement with care? Seriously, look at how quick and easy it would have been to not mess it up. That's the story of how we got to where we're at now, but that doesn't have to be where the story ends.
I think we need to talk about the micro stutters. You probably know what I'm talking about.
Oh my god, yes, please, please. Please let's talk about the micro stutters. Those are so annoying. It feels like you're actually genuinely playing on a game that is, well, you know what? No, it feels like you're playing on DBD. Any other game, you log in, and at least it happened to me, and I'm like, oh my god, why is this so smooth? I can look around, I can run around, and everything is just great. It feels amazing. By the way, I'm not a big fan of Ghost Arcade. I don't watch his content or anything, but fucking big shout out to him for actually talking about this. Thank you.
Or getting chased as, you know, survivor, or maybe you're chasing somebody as killer, or maybe you're just walking around the map, you've just loaded into a game, and next thing you know, the game jumps you forward or back. It's almost like you're watching a video and the video is rendering really badly. I feel like as if this came in around the time of maybe Five Nights at Freddy's, maybe before that, However, it is just one of the many little things that pile up to make the game experience overall frustrating and sometimes unenjoyable. So I would really like if this was definitely fixed, addressed, looked at, on top of all the other things these folks have been talking about.
For example, if the server got the final...
These are basically like really basic, important things, by the way. Like, it's not like the community is asking for the moon. Like, these are basic fucking things. And I'm sure that it is 100% harder to fix the game. And again, I'm not hating on the devs whatsoever, not in the slightest. And I think that this video, by the way, is fantastically well put together. But at some point, you have to make those changes. It's as simple as that. The anti-cheat is fake. Easy anti-cheat. I don't know if he speaks about it, but Bambus was talking earlier the fact that the DVD uses the free version, which probably not the greatest decision for such a big game.
Additionally, I've recently learnt that my peers actually weren't being unreasonable in saying, fix your anti-cheat, because it turns out it genuinely is as simple as that. If we go into DBD's installation folder, then into Easy Anti-Cheat, we are greeted with Easy Anti-Cheat EOS Setup.exe. EOS meaning Epic Online Services, the free base version of Easy Anti-Cheat that comes bundled with Unreal Engine.
Nah, this is probably the craziest thing. So Easy Anti-Cheat is free with Unreal Engine, and that is why we're using Easy Anti-Cheat? They never even bought the license to get the upgrade plan? This is so messed up. This is so fucked up.
Guys, it's really time to buy that license and upgrade to the full edition of Easy Anti-Cheat. You're making enough money now. What makes it even better is that it seems, when you buy a license, Epic even offer you support in integrating it into your game properly, so it shouldn't be too much of a burden if you've got Epic themselves helping you. I know it's easy to write this off as some YouTuber talking about things he doesn't know about, so don't just let me tell you, I brought in an expert.
Listen, honestly, some of these licenses and so on can cost hundreds of thousands, but there is no way that DBD, with the collaborations and everything that they have going on, is not able to actually get a license and pay for it. For the last hour and 40 minutes, we've been talking about this, and it's been fantastic. I was really wanting to touch on these topics.
This video is a perfect opportunity for you to link up with the community and let us know that you're genuinely listening for real this time.
And that brings us to the end of the video. Of course, this is not the entire video. It would be 100% unfair for me to show you that. So if you want to see the full version of the video, go on Ardetha's channel. Again, all of his links will be in my description down below. I hope you enjoyed. I try to cut the parts where I was giving an opinion. Again, I'm new to this whole reaction thing and just giving my opinion on something that somebody else is talking about, and I'm trying to be conscious about it. So hopefully I'm doing it the right way. Thank you so much for watching this video. It is without a doubt the longest video I've ever uploaded, so hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.